friends, Ken here, your Thrifty Apprentice. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a handmade metallic watercolor set together. I was gifted this set via Etsy from a wonderful Patreon viewer and studio channel supporter. And I thought that today would be the perfect day for me to share with you guys. We're going to go through unboxing, swatching. We'll do a little sketching, use the watercolors there, and then maybe even share some thoughts on this little particular set. So I received this and I was very curious because I had no idea that this company existed, who they were. Maza Watercolors. It did say to find them on Instagram. It's in Michigan, and this is the Space Clam set handmade metallic watercolor paints. It came in this cute little envelope that had a cute little stamp that said "Ahoy matey, thank you." So I thought to myself I should go research who they were. Let's talk about it. Maza Watercolors is an independent shop on Etsy that sells and specializes in handmade metallic watercolors. The shop has over 2,500 sales and over 900 shop reviews. The homepage shows a collection of beautiful watercolor sets with colors that complement each other along a specific color theme. Other than the colors offered in the seashell pan, it was also immediately obvious that certain colors are available in half pans. Each color seems to present a high pigment load and beautiful sheen to each color. The About page offered a bit of insight into the creator of these beautiful colors, expressing her 4-year journey of devotion to creating a great product. Established in 2020 and producing handmade watercolors ever since. This section also offers information on shipping, returns and exchange, cancellations, and payment methods. As I glanced through the review section, I was amazed at the countless expressions of gratitude for producing a great quality product and for offering amazing customer service. Not to mention the fast delivery. Over and over, all I could see was customers thanking Maza and complimenting the quality of her product. This, of course, had me super excited to get into playing with the paints myself. As far as the individual set we are looking at today, it is the Space Clamshell set, including 5 metallic handmade colors, priced at $28, making them about $5.60 per shell or pan. They are advertised as 4 darker colors plus 1 pop of orange gold. The description lists all of the ingredients used to make the paints and also lets you know that each little shell may be of a different size due to them being all natural, which I thought was absolutely amazing. So here we have the watercolors. They come in this really cute little tin. There's a logo and emblem on the top, kind of puts you in the mind of like maybe a clock or a sundial with a gold metallic strip of paint going through the letter M. Really cute little tin. It's got a nice little latch to it. Now, these original samples that are included inside the little clamshell were wrapped in like waxed paper. That is Atlanta, Riga, and Sakura. Those are 3 samples that come inside the little watercolor set. Also included is a swatch sheet, which has the names of each of the colors. There's Luna, Solar, Electra, Shadow, and Mars. And there's some little clam stamps here for you to swatch on. And then, of course, the watercolors are in order by name. And they come in these cute and whimsical little clamshells. Definitely, you know, handmade, gorgeous. The magnet is hot glued from the looks of it to the bottom of the shell there. And they just, you know, magnetically stick inside there. That's really cute. I really like it. Really cute little tin. Now, I'm probably going to put these in another tin because I want a little bit more brush room. And they're going to be combined with other handmade watercolors that I start to order. I'm definitely going to be ordering some more from this particular company if I happen to like these. So we're going to swatch the 6, and then we are going to also swatch the 3. I didn't put down any of my B's for these 3. Wasn't thinking about it when I initially made the swatch sheet, so we'll probably just swatch them in a row here and label them. And then we're also going to do a little sketch, as I said earlier. So for now, let's jump into actually swatching the little watercolors and see what we think from there. As I entered the swatching portion of this video, I was excited to be trying a handmade watercolor. Although I don't have much experience in the area of handmade paints, I do have experience in using and testing metallic watercolors. This gave me a bit of confidence as I started to swatch. Now, this is sped up a lot. I wanted to try and keep as much of the video as to the point as I could so that we can concentrate more on the actual demo. Yes, friends, we will be painting and creating. You just hang on to your rhinestones and glitter, honey, and it will be coming up really shortly. Now, during the swatching, I discovered quickly that these paints seem a bit transparent for metallic watercolors, yet they are so beautiful and pigmented. I didn't pre-wet the paints, and I found that they wet from dried form pretty well. I was using a synthetic squirrel to swatch with, therefore I was able to tell that it would not take a lot of scrubbing to get the paints to release from the pans, or should I say shells in this case. It was obvious that although the color palette is curated, it contains colors that lend or lean towards being a mixing set. There was a color with a yellow undertone, there was a color with a red undertone, there was one with blue undertones. There's a violet that is seemingly mixed with a black pigment, and a neutral black that works well for your grays into your black color range. I didn't see any reason why these colors couldn't be mixed to form secondary colors and beyond if one wanted to mix them. Now, the colors in the set did lean more towards the darker range, and the 3 additional swatch dots included gave bright, beautiful, and amazing color payoff. So I think I may have said 6 colors earlier, but they're really only 5. And they are actually really pretty. I was thoroughly surprised at how opaque they are. I'm sorry, how transparent they are, how transparent they are for a metallic watercolor. And they're metallic and kind of shimmery, but not so metallic that I feel like I need to mix them with something else. And then going back to them being kind of transparent, I almost feel like it's a mixing set because, of course, we have this Mars shade, which has a really red undertone. We have which one was this? The Solar, which has a really yellowy gold undertone. And then we have the Electra, which has a bluish undertone. So almost primaries there. The Luna is more of a violet mixture. Then there is the Shadow, which is a gray-black. So it's a really unique and interesting little set. Then there were the 3 additions, Atlanta, Regal, and Sakura, all beautiful tones. I like a lot of these. I really love the look of the Mars color. I'm a huge fan of the Atlanta, and the Sakura is growing on me a lot. From here, friends, we are going to move into a painting demo. I will be using one of my favorite techniques, graphite and wash, or pencil and wash, if you will. I have always been a fan of graphite and watercolor, and I believe that wet on wet washes of the metallic set will complement graphite well. So let's tackle a tulip together and see what beauty it brings us. So hey there, my thrifty friends. As we move into the demo section, I just kind of wanted to point out something that you may not or you may already know. At the top of your YouTube player, there is a gear or a sprocket icon, which you can press in order to control the video speed playback on your viewer. So if you ever find that the video is moving too fast for you, simply adjust the speed to a slower speed so that you can follow on a little bit better. Now, let's jump into our demo. As I started the sketching for my tulip, I grabbed a HB pencil. HB pencils have leads that are on the softer side of the drawing pencil range, and they will smudge easier than others. I used some tulip sketches that I worked on last night while watching TV for reference and sketched out a variation of one. I started by roughing out my basic shapes and then went in and started to refine things. I was going to do 2 small sketches, but decided to do just one in more detail instead. I do suggest that you draw light on your watercolor paper at first and then go darker as you become more sure of your lines. I started off darker than I normally would simply because I wanted you to see what was going on screen. An alternative here would be to use ink and wash by rounding out your final sketch with a black waterproof fine liner, but I was excited to see what magic I could create using the graphite next to the metallic. Now, in normal tradition with a graphite and wash, I am going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting of the composition with my pencil, so I did take the time to do some shading on the petal, stem, and leaf. Laying down these details at this point will prevent from having to do a lot with the paints, allowing them to shine by not getting too heavy-handed with them. Okay, my friends, so let's talk about it. You know, I am really liking this little set. Now, I am going to label with the name and the brand. I do not have the pigment information for the set. Unfortunately, I will try to reach out um, to the company. I do know that contact them through Etsy, as I was showing you guys earlier in the video, and see if I can get the pigment numbers. But in the meantime, I have to say that I found them to be rather transparent, as I said earlier, for them to be a metallic watercolor. I do believe that of the 5 colors, that this is intended to be almost like a mixing set. You're gonna get a yellow based, a red based, and a blue based color. You're going to get a violet that's mixed with a black pigment without a doubt, and you are going to get a gray neutral, and they are all really beautiful colors. I purposely used an image for the swatching that had a lot of detail in it, simply because I wanted to see the color cover a lot of black area, just so I could see, really see how transparent they are. And I was really thoroughly impressed with that. Now, I did not actually put down a black line for the 3 sample colors, but again, really beautiful, really bright. None of them are super heavy in metallic, but you can definitely see the sheen to them. Here again on a little swatch sheet, and you know, sort of like granulating colors, they seem to do these really cool textures if they're left like really heavy, and that was just from little small areas with really heavy water and heavy pigment in it. So I think I'm really going to enjoy these, and I'm really going to enjoy working them into my regular painting supplies. Now, as I said earlier, I will be breaking this little palette down, turning it into a bigger palette as I start to add more handmade watercolors to my collection. I see this, based on just this one particular palette, being an avenue or area of watercolor exploration that I really want to go down the rabbit hole with. So we will be seeing other handmade watercolor sets on the channel. Now, I didn't really do any mixing test on camera today, but I did kind of mix the colors in the painting process of doing the demo, just to see what I could do. Now, of course, I didn't want to do anything too elaborate, so I did a graphite and wash, which is almost the same as ink and wash, except for we're using graphite or pencil and leaving the pencil in instead of adding black fine liner. And the watercolors will help to lock the pencil lines and the graphite down as you paint. And I think it's a really beautiful effect on watercolors that I recently started adding to the way that I paint and with different things. Now, this is 100% watercolor paper that I am doing all of this testing on. This is Fumui. This is 100% cotton. It's like the second time I've used this paper. So far, so good. I really do like it. I've started to get into more 100% cotton papers in different brands, and I just find that I like them better than wood pulp. Gave me a really beautiful result for these particular paints. And I would have to say that, again, second, third time using this paper, I do think that it is a really decent paper, and I'm definitely going to be ordering more of it to use. So as you can see, we laid down a base layer in the demo of the Sakura, which is a beautiful pink, very soft. I was able to go in on that wet wash of that Sakura and lay in some of the Regal, very royal, very pungent purple violet tone. And then I even did a little bit of a layering of the Mars, which contains more of a red undertone to a beautiful color. Definitely look like it has a little PBK 11 in it, maybe some type of black pigment of that sort, but really beautiful color. They blended together really well. I was able to blend them into each other softly, as long as it was a wet into wet or wet on damp. Was able to go back as it started to dry and layer a little bit more mass tone color. I didn't want to do too much because I really wanted the graphite to really do all of the work in the watercolors to add an accented color, which worked out really well. I mixed a green. There isn't a green in the set, but as I told you, these three colors hold a primary undertone. So I mixed the solar and the electra together, which is basically the blue and the yellow, and I was able to get a beautiful green. So there's no doubt in my mind that the colors will mix to make secondaries. So you can really play around with these. I can see them working in so many different aspects. I was able to get some shadow tone in by adding the, what was it, the shadow to whatever color mixture I had, which would help to add tonal value to it, shade it up, loved that. Was able to go back in on top after everything had dried with the graphite, no issues there. It took the layering of the bleed proof white gouache, which I normally use for my extreme highlights, really well. So overall, I don't see any complaints. You know, the thing is, I really enjoyed playing around with these for the little bit that we have. If I had to say, I recommended them. I do. I am not someone who is just, you know, really versed in handmade watercolors. I have a little experience, and this is one of the few sets that I actually own myself. And as I said, as time moves on with the channel, as we explore more and more watercolor, we'll be looking more into handmade watercolors. And later on down the line, there will be a video produced specifically for that. But as of right now, based on what I know in my use, I do find these really enjoyable, and I do think that they will be a great addition to any art supply arsenal, especially if you're into metallic watercolors. And the thing that I like about these, again, is that they're metallic. They're a little bit more than pearlescent, but they're not so heavy with mica as far as being metallic that you can't mix them with other watercolors and give those watercolors a really beautiful kind of sheeny, glowy effect. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I want to order some more of these. I definitely want to order the all three of these. They come in the half pan form, as we saw earlier. I'm not sure if these colors come in the half pan, but I'm good with them being in this shell for right now. I do want to kind of go through that Etsy site and see what colors, what other colors are available. I would like to add to this range. I happen to have the Artwell metallic watercolors. I have the Artist Loft pearlescent watercolors. I have the Master's Touch Fine Art Studio metallic round cake watercolors. And of all of them, I would have to say these are the ones that I'm leaning more so towards liking the most, because they give me what I want as far as, you know, the sheen goes. But I really like the fact that they're transparent, and I don't think I would have any issues mixing and using them with other water soluble media. And for me, that's very important as a mixed media artist. Although I'm very water soluble leaning heavily, I still use things like color pencils, alcohol markers, oil pastels on the channel, or watercolor pencils, which we're going to be looking at a set of watercolor pencils coming up soon. I use all of those on the channel. So to have a metallic watercolor that is so transparent to me, yet so beautiful and punchy and saturated, I feel like they are going to go really, really well with the other things that I do. So how do you guys feel? Let me know. Jump in the comments section. Have you experienced Maza watercolors? And I hope I'm saying that right. I say Maza, M-A-Z-A, Maza watercolors. Have you experienced them? What are your experiences? How did they make you feel? What did you guys think about the video that we've done today, the watercolors, how they perform? Let me know what you think of the demo. I would really love to know if you found anything enjoyable at all. Now is the time to go ahead and show a little love and go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. You can share the video if you would like, because sharing is caring. Now, The video description is going to contain all of the relevant links that you will need to source anything about the channel. And with wrapping this up and repeating once again that I would definitely recommend that you go check out the site, go take a look, see if it's something that you would be interested in, because based on what I've done with them, I don't think you would be disappointed, excuse me. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep creating.